Let me show you Africa as an entrepreneur. Africa is a fundamental part of the global economy.
There's a way the world does business and there's a way we do business.
When we put our faith and our trust in God, He's the master strategist and always directs our path. So it's a vibrant, young market with lots of energy.
Along with our diverse cultures, provide us with rich insights into God and His creativity.
There are people building businesses. So come see that Africa.
We've come to the final session of our foundation group, though we hope this is not the last time you'll connect with us or with those around you. You can continue to meet with your group, discussing other pieces of content from entrepreneurs in your area and around the world. We all know the old saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Here in Africa, we understand that this idea goes beyond the family unit. It takes a village to do nearly everything, especially to run a business. We need one another for accountability, support, and encouragement. That's what we hope you've gotten out of your foundation group. This is a local expression of a global movement. Faith-driven entrepreneurs across the world are united by a common commitment to Jesus Christ and to one another. We partner with Him and with each other to accomplish the mission that He has given us. Today we'll look at what it means for us to truly have this village mindset in business. What can happen when we come together for the sake of our businesses and the people they serve? How can we bring our whole selves into the story and use our upbringings, our homes, and our cultures to influence others? Let's watch this next video to find out.
I used to get very curious about just simple things around the house, toys, electronics and the like, and I would always be like, who made this? Where were they made? And the person who made this, what thinking process did they go through to invent or create something like this? I remember at one point thinking that we had had so much foreign influence from colonial times to now, and even just some kind of predominant thinking within government that anytime we needed something done, we ran for consultants from the US, from China, from Europe. And I'm like, don't you see that we Kenyans are here and can actually think through these kinds of solutions? Why is it so perplexing for an African to be smart, to be intelligent, to, do a lot of interesting things? And so I began to get the sense that the rest of the world wasn't necessarily more intelligent and better off at stuff. They just had probably a lot more self-confidence to find solutions to their own problems. It began to challenge my perceptions about then maybe we do have what it takes to create, to invent, to innovate. A big driving force for me was to build a company that was innovative, that was different, that would be able to produce the same kind of excellence that you see on a global scale, that would be innovative to the point that people internationally would want to borrow what it is that we're doing. It's a great pleasure to say that that has been happening today.
I think one of the things that we have to do is to learn to believe in ourselves. Africa is an amazing continent with really good people, and we have all the resources that we need. And sometimes I find that for us as people and entrepreneurs, for a long time, Africa has been seen maybe like a dark continent that doesn't have much to offer, and we can only get the best when it comes from out. But then we have to get to a point where we realize that we are the answers and we are the solutions for everything that we need and that we have.
A lot of entrepreneurship initiatives that are being developed across Africa are being started by well-meaning organizations and saying, look, we want to contribute to entrepreneurship success. But one of the biggest questions is how can we do that in a way that is sustainable and in a way that is long-serving? We have a very young population. More than 65% of people in Africa are below the age of 20. And so what that basically means is that there's coming into the job market more and more young people who are looking for employment. And these employment opportunities do not exist. And so the only option that we have is to either teach those people to start their own businesses or to teach as many people as possible to start businesses and therefore then create employment for the vast majority.
My journey of entrepreneurship has kind of boiled it down to a few things. One is resilience, because you'll always be up against a lot of challenges. But the other is just discipline and execution. A lot of people are good at coming up with great ideas. A lot of people are good at dreaming up how great the future could be. A lot of people are good at planning about great things they could do for the future. But I find that a significantly smaller number is great at executing and following through, or having the discipline to follow through with executing plans that will make their businesses successful in future.
I think the thing with ideas is everyone has an idea. The problem is, how do you get that idea from your head into the world and add value to the world and enable people to see the value that it brings, so then they can pay you for it. Where people get stuck is, where do I find the people to pay for the value that I'm bringing to the world?
Business is a very lonely journey. Like for me, I actually felt very lonely because, sometimes you ask yourself, do other people go through what I'm going through? Do they have to go through the same challenges?
If you've built a business in Kenya, it can be really tough overcoming some of the challenges that you'd have to overcome, whether it's ethical, whether it's, just business environment challenges. We adopted the whole concept of it takes a village to also raise a business. The whole concept of it takes a village is actually something that I've now come to realize is a phrase that is in many traditional African languages. And each language has a similar saying of, it does take a village to raise a child. And so that's something that really resonated with us as we were building the sandbox and picked up, we call ourselves a village formula.
I describe Sandbox as a one-stop shop for entrepreneurs, where entrepreneurs can get help for anything that they need to run the functional parts of their businesses. So we look at businesses from a 360-degree perspective, where we look at the entrepreneur, the enterprise, and the people within the enterprise, and we grow all of those to make a successful entrepreneur. So the value of the Sandbox is we help entrepreneurs unlock the value of their ideas and take them to the world so they can be paid for it, and then they can create a better world for themselves and for their communities.
So in a co-working space, you have all manner of different businesses that are there. And in a co-working space, it's sort of like touch and go. I can come for 1 month, I can come for 2 months, I can come for 1 day, and there's no permanency. But within the village, there's a permanency because the experts are resident here. In the Sandbox, it's a village because I am resident there. I live in the village as an expert.
I ran a business for a long time by myself, and Joram had always had this vision to bring all of us under one roof so that we could benefit from all the services we provide and benefit from community. And Sandbox for me has helped me to just weather the storm of COVID and everything else that has been thrown our way. During COVID, we lost 50% of our business, of our clients. And it was really important to be surrounded by people who had also gone through similar challenges. And we did not know how we were going to make ends meet. And we relied on each other a lot. People said, I'll buy from you. I will support your business in one way or another. So I felt like I was able to have friends and entrepreneurs who understood what I was going through. So I'm really grateful to be in a space where I can pour out of my abundance and at the same time receive out of the abundance of everybody else.
Just being in the village and being able to to interact with other entrepreneurs here at the Sandbox, then just demystifies all these things that we're going through. You never know how big your problem is until you share it with someone else and you realize that we're all on the same boat. So I think for me, that village concept of being able to network and share with other people and learn from others has been big for me to know that, it's not that difficult when you walk the journey with others.
I think Sandbox teaches us, and not just the world, it teaches Africans that there's valid ideas from Africa. And Africans have the solutions for African problems. They just need the space and opportunity to express those solutions, so then they become viable. There's a lot of amazing things being done in Africa. They're underreported and sometimes it's ignored. I think the narrative has always been that the West helps Africa. But we're also getting to an awakening phase where Africans are realizing that we can help ourselves and we have to help ourselves to cross that bridge, because it's our content, it's our context, and it's our solutions that will help us bridge that gap.
We are all made in the image of God. The fact that we're made in His image, for myself realizing that as an African I had the same abilities to think, to be creative, to create solutions. Nobody should ever feel inferior to another. We should all be proud and confident in who we are, and proudly and confidently go ahead to do the things that we're called to do. With the Sandbox model, I have a lot of people reach out to me on LinkedIn. They're curious about it. They want to see whether it can work in their countries, and this is across Africa. This is across Europe, across the world. And so in a way we are living out the dream of what it is that we set out to do on a small scale, but we are ambitious enough to think that we can do this on a much larger scale. So we are looking forward to scaling globally and taking this community-oriented idea to other parts of the world. All these things signal changes in the kind of confidence that Africans have towards themselves and towards solving their own problems, creating innovative products and services. I foresee a lot of these forces interplaying to create a lot of opportunities for the Africans if they, are able to see them and wake up and run with the opportunities.
God will always prepare you for the work He calls you to do. He will surround you with the right people and resources. He will place you in the right context. There are no accidents with Him. Your history, your culture, and community are all gifts from God. Bring them into your work. Bring your whole self and be open to allowing others to do the same. This is how the village works best, each of us coming together and serving each other in the way God calls us. Wherever we are, we can be encouraged that other faith-driven entrepreneurs are doing this in their areas as well. We don't have to reach the ends of the earth alone. We get to do it as a collective community of people redeemed by Christ. We are so grateful that you've taken time to watch these videos. Hopefully you've had the opportunity to discuss these topics with like-minded entrepreneurs in a faith-driven entrepreneur group. If you're interested in continuing with a monthly group, or if you'd like to lead a foundation group, we encourage you to contact our team. We want to hear from you and help you determine how you can continue to answer the call as a faith-driven entrepreneur. This global movement is made up of each one of us, and it's driven by all of us. It's you who can spark this growing movement in your own backyard. Form a group, host a watch party for our annual Faith-Driven Entrepreneur Live event. Download the Faith-Driven app, which is available in both the App Store and the Google Play. Be on the lookout for more study sessions, podcasts, blogs, and more. We're grateful to be on this journey with you. On behalf of other teachers and the team here at Faith-Driven Entrepreneur Africa, thank you for listening and watching. Now, spend some time in your group talking about this session and how it relates to the journey that you're on. Blessings on your time. God bless you.